Can
we wave to them?
Yes, you can wave.
They look familiar. That's us. She's proving that we're here. Do you want to say Martha a lot, or shall we say Marty?
You can do either. That's fine. Okay. What comes to mind when I mention the word hero? Superman or Spider-Man? We all have our own individual perceptions of what a hero is. Let's step outside the Warner Bros. Stereotype for a moment, though. It is possible to you that a hero could be someone as simple as the neighbor who rescued your little kitten from the tree, or the nice man at the grocery store who ran your milk out to you as you forgot it. Whoever it may be, a hero is someone noble and indeed recognizable. My hero is a former teacher of mine who did more than just rescuing. Mr. Frost was not only an educator, but he was a mentor and a coach. Over a span of 52 years, Mr. Frost taught history grades 7th through 12th. In the classroom, Mr. Frost was continually dedicated to creating a positive learning environment for us all. There was not one day that passed when I wasn't excited to go to his classroom. When you are a 9th grader, sitting in a 90-minute history class is not exactly something that's on the top of your priority list. I remember one day, freshman year, Mr. Frost sat on top of his desk and told us all that we would be reading from a textbook that day. And with our readings would come a worksheet. I remember being very taken back because I knew that after being 2 years of Mr. Frost's student, this was not like his teaching. All of a sudden, he jumped up onto his desk and practically yelled, "Just kidding. Today, each of you are going to learn the United States Constitution, and you will have it memorized by the time you step foot out of my classroom."
Oh.
Again, this did not sound exciting, but I knew that Mr. Frost was going to have a way of making it enjoyable. He played the guitar, and we sang, learning each word to the Constitution. Just like Mr. Frost had promised, we the people of the United States. Yes, because of him, I still have the preamble memorized today. By the end of those first 2 years in Mr. Frost's classroom, I began to notice more than just a talent for his teaching, but also his collection of C.S. Lewis books, as well as his Holy Bible, which sat promptly next to him on his desk. As a Christian myself, after long, it was not hard for me to see that Mr. Frost believed in Christ himself. He knew that I was involved in a youth organization called Young Life, as well as the local church Vintage. With that being said, one day, Mr. Frost pulled me aside after lunch and asked me if I would do him a favor. He asked me if I would be willing to take Molly to church that Sunday. So I asked her if she would like to join, and she seemed a little bit confused about the offer, but she politely accepted. That Sunday, we showed up to Vintage, and there was Mr. Frost standing on the podium. We both looked at each other in confusion, but he would be giving the sermon that day. To our surprise, I remember him talking about having faith in yourself, and that was definitely something that Molly needed to touch on. After the sermon, Mr. Frost came up to the two of us and thanked us for coming, but Molly didn't have much to say. She didn't have much to say on the way home, and she didn't have much to say the next 2 days either. It wasn't until almost a week later that Molly came up to me in class and said, "I want to thank you for bringing me to church this Sunday." It turns out that Molly had also asked Mr. Frost if he would help her with a Bible study. Molly's life began changing before everyone's eyes. She was no longer the girl that had stories to tell about her out-of-control weekend, but rather the girl that wanted to reach out to others, just like Mr. Frost had encouraged me to do for her. It was evident that Mr. Frost had a care for young adults, more than just in the aspect of education. He genuinely cared about his students as individual people. Today, Molly is a Young Life leader, and she never misses a Sunday of church. When I look back on my junior high and high school experience, I can genuinely say that Mr. Frost is what comes to mind, as a strong mentor and a teacher. High school is known to be an extremely difficult time period because students are often trying to figure out their own identity. Thanks to Mr. Frost, it was easy for me to find my own while staying on track in and out of the classroom. He reached out and gave advice like none other I had received, all while being the best educator I have ever had. I will continue to give thanks to Mr. Frost, not only for being a wonderful teacher and helping me memorize the Constitution, but for always encouraging me to do what is right. Thank you.